l'essor rapide de l'EA commence à transformer notre façon de vivre et de travailler et génère une demande en énergie sans précédent. Les changements climatiques s'intensifient, les tempêtes sont plus violentes, les inondations plus et les feux de forêt plus dévastateurs. Il est donc essentiel que le Canada développe sa résilience et apporte sa contribution. Canadians are feeling all the impacts of these big changes at their kitchen tables, at the pumps, on the factory floors, as costs rise and uncertainty casts its heavy shadow. The good news is that many countries, unlike many countries, we can control our future if we seize this moment. And that means applying several lessons that these big forces have revealed. First, when the world fundamentally changes, we must respond with new approaches. As the Canadian Marshall McLuhan described 60 years ago, an age of anxiety is caused by trying to do today's job with yesterday's tools and yesterday's concepts. Canadians get that. Canadians get that, which is why they're changing how they shop, where they travel, and how they come together. And governments must now follow their lead. The second lesson is that in a much tougher world, we have to take care of ourselves. And the right path, as this government has stressed, the right path forward is to build big and to build for all, with code, copper, and steel. And to that end, Canada's new government has been moving fast. We've already referred 21 nation-building initiatives to the Major Projects Office, projects that will connect, diversify, and propel our economy through over $125 billion in new investment. L'année dernière, la construction de la nouvelle centrale nucléaire de Darlington a commencé en Ontario. En mars, nous avons donné le coup d'envoi d'un projet d'expansion du terminal de Contrecoeur au port de Montréal, 40 ans après sa conception initiale. Ce projet a été lancé quelques mois après notre arrivée au pouvoir. Cet été, nous lancerons le projet de route de la vallée de Mackenzie dans les territoires du Nord-Ouest, un projet dont j'attends parler depuis mon enfance. Et on ne fait que commencer. We've created a new agency, Build Canada Homes, to drive affordable home building at a pace not seen in generations. Over $50 billion to our Build Communities Strong fund, for hospitals to hockey rinks, and a new defense industrial strategy that will catalyze $500 billion in investment in Canada over the next decade. Now, the third lesson that we must take from the current rupture is our sovereignty, our sustainability, our prosperity will depend on our ability to supply and control our energy. We have to unlock Canada's full potential as an energy superpower. As the head of the International Energy Agency, Fatih Birol, said just last week, Canada has, and I quote, a golden opportunity to build a more sustainable and reliable energy system. This will require bold investments, practical solutions focused on results, not rhetoric, and the full force of a united Canada working together. Working together to build a stronger, more resilient, more independent Canada that works for all. That's our mission. And as the Minister just said, central to that mission is more electricity. As our industries expand, our economy grows, AI accelerates, electricity demand in Canada is expected to double by 2050. So we will double our grid. That's the headline. Canada will double its electricity generation over the course of the next 2 decades. Because the path to affordability is electrification. The path to competitiveness is electrification. The path to net zero is electrification. Electrification underpins everything: our emissions, our environment, our economy. Et dans un monde en évolution rapide, le Canada prend son avenir en main. Grâce à notre nouvelle stratégie nationale d'électrification, nous bâtirons rapidement et à grande échelle pour doubler notre réseau énergétique et bâtir un Canada fort qui sera alimenté par une énergie propre, abordable et fiable. Over the coming decades, Canadians will use more electricity because many of the things we use every day, the cars we drive, the heaters in our home, the machines in our factories, are switching to electric power. Doubling our grid to meet that demand won't be easy. The scale is huge, the timeline is short, and the task of getting the right mix of power is complex. If we get it wrong, Canadians will pay higher utility bills. If we're too timid, Canadians will end up short of power, losing good jobs and growing reliant on foreign suppliers. We can't pursue business as usual. We can't simply rely on restrictions and prohibitions. We must do things differently. Now, with the right investments and electrification measures, 7 in 10 Canadian households will pay less for their total energy by 2050. That's $15 billion back in the pockets of Canadians. And that's because electric machines are 2 to 4 times more efficient than those they replace. So, as we electrify our transportation, our buildings, our industry, the electricity slice of the overall energy pie grows, but the size of the entire pie shrinks. Now, Canada starts from a position of strength. We have amongst the lowest electricity costs in the world. Our system is already 80% non-emitting. Doubling generation in the next few decades will require those massive investments. It will require the linking of provincial systems. It will require the spreading of costs over time using our AAA balance sheet so that ratepayers don't pay all of the costs of investments today for benefits that Canadians, all Canadians, will benefit from and our planet will benefit from over decades. Getting this right requires permitting reform, new partnerships with Indigenous peoples, and a willingness to use a wide range of energy, including hydro, nuclear, wind, solar, some gas, carbon capture, geothermal, and beyond. Il faut savoir que notre réseau électrique émet aujourd'hui un peu moins de 50 mégatonnes, tandis que les émissions des industries, des transports et des bâtiments dépassent largement les 500 mégatonnes. L'enjeu, de loin le plus important, consiste à réduire les émissions à un coût raisonnable grâce à l'électrification et non à la pureté absolue de la production, la génération. La politique d'électrification ambitieuse permettrait de réduire